What's up, guys? It's Sebastian FTH1 here. We're back with more Fire Emblem Three Houses. It's been another few weeks since I last recorded. I just, I just can't keep up with it as much as I can. But yeah, we're getting closer to the end of the story for the Golden Deer. I know that much. I know that the second parts to each of the houses are much shorter because I've just seen them. I haven't seen the stories for them. I just know the chapter lengths, and we're about to get to the end of this one. So we have one more event to do this week. We don't have to train our class, but we have options to us right now. What I'm gonna do is do a seminar. Let's do this one.
This should be suitable.
Growth sustains me.
All right, let's go.
Gronder Field should be around here, right? But it's so foggy. Even if there were enemies here, we'd never know it. I recall the terrain from the Battle of the Eagle and Lion, but without the ability to see the enemy's formation.
Our enemies are subject to the same conditions. We'll just have to wait for the fog to clear up.
Speaking of enemies, what do you think became of those unidentified troops? Any follow-up reports?
We haven't heard anything since. If they were headed this way... Well, I'd like to avoid being caught by surprise, but we can't make use of our scouts because of this fog. It's hard to predict this fight. There's no way to know what will happen.
Let's try to stay calm here. All right.
Of course. The morale of our allies would be crushed if we let them see us shaking in our boots. Your guidance is going to be crucial, Teach, now more than ever. Do whatever it takes to lead us to victory.
Departing from the Great Bridge of Murden, the Alliance Army marches south toward Enbar, the Imperial capital. As an unknown military force begins their advance under the banner of the Kingdom, the Imperial Army dispatches forces from Fort Mercius with the intention of intercepting them. The curtain is rising on a conflict between the three armies, which will come to be known as the Battle at Gronder, held on the same plains that witnessed the Battle of the Eagle and Lion.
set up.
Welcome. Come back soon. Welcome.
Hitting the wrong button.
Come back.
Okay. We do have a lot of supports to get through, by the way. Map. Guard. Hubert, you're over there. Edlegard, you're over there, and she has a sacred weapon. Guard, chest there. Oh look! It's Dimitri. He lives. Mercedes. Of course you're here, dude. Maybe I can recruit her, actually. Okay. I think... I'm trying to think of how I'm playing this out. Most of the force is going to go this way. Most of it. Do I want to beeline it for Mercedes? Or do I want to beeline it for, for Edlegard's head? I think that's fine for now. Alright.
Know that I will tear your heads from your shoulders. The dead must have their tribute.
As big class reunions go, this one's gotta be the worst in history.
Years ago, we fought here as classmates. But not today.
Kill every last one of them!
And so we fight on.
I will crush anyone who blocks my path.
Dimitri, he's alive. But he doesn't look interested in joining forces with us.
It would not be advantageous to take on both at once. We must stop the Kingdom and the Alliance from joining forces. I will create such chaotic warfare that they won't be able to tell who is friend and who is foe.
Alright, if you want to play that way, bitch, we can play that way. I forgot to get a chest key. Who wants to get a chest key? Probably.
Shall we?
Leave it to me.
Good job,
Should have seen that coming.
I'll crush them all.
Guide me well.
Paul's gonna try. If he gets killed, I'll just redo it.
What's my strategy?
Onward.
This guy
I'll do my
saves
best.
before she dies. I can get to Mercedes. Fucking go for
Let's
it.
make this quick.
Holy shit, I can move them wherever I want? Oh, you just gave me ideas. You just gave me ideas. I didn't think that would happen.
I will crush you.
Okay.
Shall
She still
we?
needs to get her key.
Let's make this quick.
You just gave me a goddamn idea.
What's my strategy?
Onward.
This is broken.
I'll do my best.
Guide me well.
Him?
Leave it to me. Time for seconds.
Frick.
Can't afford to lose.
I didn't realize you had that power on you. Holy shit, man.
I'll crush them all.
At the ready.
Claude, you're going that way.
There's
Well,
no
you're
stopping
behind
me.
them.
Mounted units, advance!
Destiny
Tess.
unfurls. This could turn the tides. All is going to plan.
More of
I
Dimitri,
must
I'm
lead
taking
them
out your
well.
entire goddamn troop here.
Tear 'em up!
That's another one.
Your brave lance is almost broken.
Lament your weakness.
Okay, so. What do you want?
I won't hold back.
Ah, you did it. Sorry, but I must.
Bridge. Me. Really?
Here is something to believe in! This could turn the tides.
How kind of our enemies to fight one another, and open flanks as well. Generous.
Fighting is what I do.
Is it really open though, Hubert? Is it?
If they're going to stand in our way, they must die. Smash them to pieces.
In the name of His Highness, you die here.
Missed.
Watch and learn.
Oh my god. Oh, there she goes. Great. Didn't have a chance. What? Okay, hold up. You gotta help him.
Don't get used to this. I won, didn't I?
Get him over there.
You're interfering with the plan. Looks like I'll just have to get rid of you. Fighting endanger my life. Your Majesty, I must withdraw.
Yeah. Bitch.
I fought and won.
No chance.
Hey, look at you.
Hopefully you join my side.
Oh, I haven't seen you in so long. It's such a shame we have to meet like this.
Get out of here!
You should have seen that coming.
You shall not survive!
That is all.
No chance.
That was one punch.
Time for such. Sorry it's gotta be like this. Am I...
Wrath.
It is time. Someone, take the central hill.
Yes, Your Highness. If that's your order, then I'll go.
Are you trying to stop me too? Then I'll just have to kill you! Hunt them like beasts!
Watch and learn.
Missed.
Sorry, but it's you or me. Guess I have no choice. Never let your guard down.
You defeat me? Left.
I can't seem to stay on my feet.
Should've joined me.
No escape!
Let's do it now.
All you do is keep me in place.
Missed.
Watch and learn.
It's over!
Great.
Where are you, Edlegard? I will not stop until I kill you!
Now there's a way forward.
Sacred beast over there. She gotta take time to kill.
And that...
Help her father.
Destiny unfurls.
Oh, she has one more.
Much obliged.
Oh, she cannot die. Please don't die.
Let's think about this.
All the...
Another victory.
Perfection.
I'm ready.
Do whatever it takes.
Huh. I guess this is fate. Sorry, but I need you to please give up quietly, okay?
Or you can join what's left. We'll die.
No hesitation!
I'm not afraid. I figured it would end like this.
Chose death, sir. You chose death.
Shall we?
Good idea.
Predictable. All is going to plan.
Cannot fight anymore, Your Highness. Is that what you said? Okay.
more cards from my sleeve.
Oh no, I didn't. I didn't.
Hopefully. Another victory.
That was amazing.
Almost in range. Oh,
Thank you.
I took her off her dragon. I didn't do that. Come on. Just out of range, god damn it.
Thanks for that.
Is that all?
shit, good shit.
Allow me to demonstrate!
Kill.
Invigorating.
Sunthorn. You guys surround Edlegard. I need a drunk out.
Shut!
Repent from the grave!
What's the
I'll never back down.
I knew you could do it.
Surrounding her, and it's pointless to do this. You ain't gonna move because you a bitch. Alright. What did you say to Claude? As long as Claude doesn't crit.
We haven't seen each other since Garrick Mach. You've grown lovelier than ever, Edlegard.
You're not so unfortunate yourself. And you have the aid of the Professor. Frankly, I'm jealous. Now's the chance for you and the Professor to leave.
I'm afraid I must decline. Even if we left, we just have to come right back.
Now it's my turn.
I knew when next we met, one of our paths would have to come to an end. Your journey ends here, Professor. Forever.
It's over!
I lost. Just as expected, you aren't making my path an easy one.
You lost? You screamed in agony.
I must retreat for now. We'll meet again on the battlefield.
Even in an ugly battle like this, it's important not to lose heart. We have to take pride in our victory. We did it, Teach. Now we can move forward to our victory.
Thank you so much.
So, Edlegard retreated. I suppose she lives to be defeated another day.
That's fine for now.
I suppose a win is a win, regardless of the circumstance. Some of our allies are injured, but can still fight. We'll just have to accept this outcome and press onward. Still, the battlefield looks awful. And I wonder what became of the Kingdom Army and Dimitri.
I saw him.
Who? Dimitri?
He was completely different from how I remember him. He looked like a crazed demon while he was fighting. He pursued Edlegard as she retreated, but he didn't get far before he collapsed. I saw him surrounded by Imperial troops and pierced by their spears. I'll never forget it. He deserved a better end.
Dimitri. He went through so much to make it here, only for his efforts to be in vain.
I can't even begin to understand what Dimitri must have been feeling, but there must have been some other way. Why did he have to go like that?
And his vassal, Dedu. And did he fall as well?
I don't know.
Your Highness. Your ambitions are my own now. I will bring you Edlegard's head. I swear it!
Professor, Claude, may I have a moment of your time?
Lysithea, what are you doing up this late? Trouble sleeping?
We all have nights like that, come on.
Anyone would be shaken after such a brutal battle. If you're having trouble sleeping, you should drink some warm milk. That's a thing, right?
Must you treat me like a child, simply because I'm awake a bit later than usual? Actually, I can hardly muster any indignation right now. I wanted to tell you that I noticed something odd during that battle.
What was it?
There were some strange mages among the ranks of the Imperial Army. Did you notice them?
The ones wearing the masks?
That's right. I have seen people dressed just like that before. It was a long time ago. House Ardelia was involved in a rebellion that took place within the Empire 13 years ago. After it was quelled, all of the key officials were caught and put to death. The Empire sent replacements, who they used to take control of House Ardelia. Among the people sent by the Empire were mages dressed in black, just like those we saw in battle.
If they're Imperial mages, it makes sense that they would wear the same clothing, right?
Yes, but the mages from back then and today, I do not believe they are from the Adrestian Empire.
Are they the Kingdom's mate?
No. I got the impression that they were from somewhere else. Somewhere completely separate from Fodlan. There's more. Those mages imprisoned the children from my house and performed horrible rituals on them. Blood experiments.
Lysithea, you can't mean... even you?
Yes. All of the others were deemed failures. They all died. And even I... It doesn't matter. The point is that those monsters possess dreadful knowledge and power. I just thought you should know the sort of people who have allied with the Empire.
Blood experiments. Does that remind you of anything, Teach?
The incident with Flame, they were after her blood.
Exactly. There was that secret group who abducted Flame and extracted her blood 5 years ago. The people involved back then were Tomas and Monica. Well, I suppose their true names were Solon and Kranya. So, that eerie group has been slithering behind the scenes in the Empire for a while now. Lysithea, thank you for sharing all of that with us. One day we will uncover the truth of who those people really are. We've managed to invade Empire territory and emerge victorious in our first battle. I hope to maintain our momentum and push onward to Enbar, the Imperial capital. Unfortunately, we are not legendary heroes in a fairy tale. Our stamina has limits. The longer we fight, the harder the fight will become. It will take immense effort to secure the supplies and soldiers we need to prevail.
Boy, you better not be saying this is as far as we go.
Of course not. However, the road ahead leads deep into enemy territory. It'll be a difficult journey, strewn with hardship. I can't guarantee that we'll make it out alive. If anyone wants to leave, now is the time to do it.
I shall accompany you to the very end. After all, someone must step up to take leadership should you fall.
I'm coming. The future of my village depends on this. Besides, I have to protect the professor. For Captain Gerald.
I'm not going anywhere. Because of the Empire, my little sis can't live in peace.
We can't leave the future of Fodlan to others. I'm sure that everyone here feels the same.
The Knights of Seros will keep fighting the Empire. We won't rest until we rescue Lady Rhea.
I feel the same as the Knights. I've got to rescue Lady Rhea no matter what.
So, what? We're all supposed to take turns saying we'll do our best until the very end? And what about you, Marianne? What will you do? I'll fight too. Fine. Fine. I suppose I'll tag along too, until the bitter end.
It's an honor to keep fighting alongside such stalwart allies. Right, Teach?
I expect nothing less from my student.
Hey now, when you put it that way, it almost sounds like you're just praising yourself. All right. Now that I know where each of you stands, I'm going to return to Alliance territory for a while. I intend to report this victory to the Alliance Lords and draw out even more support from them. Our next battle will be even more challenging, so brace yourselves for that.
I should write to my brother. He'll want to hear about our victory.
Your brother, Lord Holst? How is he these days?
Oh, he's doing great. I even got a letter from him before the last battle. He wanted to come and join our fight too.
What's this? Lord Holst come here? That would be a most reassuring development.
Sadly, it sounds like my father was against the idea. They want him to stay in case they need to fight the Almirans.
Their logic is sound, though it is vexing that the Alliance's greatest general cannot join us on the front lines.
We should be glad that Holst is staying behind. Almira aside, there's also no guarantee that the Imperial forces won't try to launch a surprise attack from the Old Kingdom territory.
If you have something you need to talk to my brother about, I'd be happy to send a letter.
No, that's okay. I'm just glad to hear he's doing well. Please send him my regards.
Part 2. Verdant Wind. Heartstring Moon. The Golden Scheme. Claude leverages his victory at the Battle of Gronder to secure reinforcements from Alliance lords. Meanwhile, the Imperial Army continues to tighten its defenses at Fort Mercius in anticipation of an attack on the Imperial capital.
for helping me with my training again today, Professor. I'm gonna keep at it for a while longer, so you go on ahead.
You should get some rest.
I can't. Not when I'm right on the cusp of using my power to greater potential. Surely you yourself are tired. Just don't worry about me, okay? I'm sorry, Professor. It was careless of me to continue, despite how fatigued I clearly was. I probably should have listened to you. Now I've made a mess of things. I can't help but feel the need to rush in all things constantly. You get that way when you realize you haven't got much time.
The heck do you fucking mean by that?
I believe I've mentioned that House Ordelia was, at one time, being controlled by people from the Empire. During that time, strange people, mages perhaps, came and performed rituals on all the youth within my family. With the Empire monitoring our every move, my parents could do nothing but watch in horror as all of this unfolded. One after another, the children died, until the only one left was me. You know, my hair wasn't always this color. During their experiments, they'd been doing things with my blood. One morning, I awoke like this. A shock of white hair, all trace of pigment gone. Upon seeing me, the mages were delighted. They realized that their experiments had finally succeeded. Sure enough, they ran a test and saw that two crests coexisted within me. Losing pigment from my hair wasn't the only loss. The mages informed me that my lifespan was now greatly shortened. 5 more years at most, perhaps less.
How awful.
Shortly thereafter, the mages lost interest in me, and we never saw them in the Ordelia household again. Since all that, our family has been in decline. It's challenging now even to govern our territory. After all my mother and father have suffered, I at least want them to have peace as they grow older. That is all I wish for, but I haven't much time to ensure it comes to pass.
It's too soon to give up, however. I mean, I understand you rushing through your life and feeling impatient as a child that you wanted to grow up so fast, but it's too soon to give up.
It's not like what's been done to me can be undone.
Let's try to find a way to undo it. There's always a way to figure something out. You're not always fucked, you know? Not always. Might be in this case, but not always.
Professor. The only way I can conceive of would be to remove my crest somehow. But I don't know if that's even remotely possible. Even if it were, I wouldn't be of much use to you and the others without my crests.
We will find a way. If you got a crest, you can get rid of a crest. You only need to get rid of one. Just one.
You sound resolved. I'll allow your resolve to bolster my own. Thank you, Professor.
Our objective is Enbar, the Imperial capital, but our greatest obstacle lies before that.
And what's that?
Fort Mercius. If we can't pass through, we won't be able to reach Enbar.
Fort Mercius, the impregnable fortress, or so it's called.
If I recall correctly, it's sometimes referred to as the Stubborn Old General.
It is a massive fortress that was constructed to protect the Imperial capital.
The Imperial army we defeated has withdrawn to Enbar. Fort Mercius should be short on soldiers for now.
we should be careful still. Just because they're low on soldiers doesn't mean they're not fucking useless.
It would be best to take it before enemy reinforcements arrive. Still, there's a reason it's been called impregnable. The only real question is what our fearless leader intends to do.
Sorry for the delay, everyone. Those mewling lords kept me from leaving for quite some time.
So, were you able to secure additional reinforcements?
It's gonna have to wait until next month. It doesn't look like they can afford to keep supporting us at present.
Then what should we do about Fort Mercius? Do you plan on waiting around?
No. If we wait until next month, the enemy will have bolstered their defenses. That said, the prevailing theory is that you need triple your enemy's forces to take a fortress with a frontal assault.
Right. That's what we were taught at the academy. And this is Fort Mercius we're talking about. It's renowned for its strong defenses.
Our current army isn't nearly strong enough. What to do?
Whatever you do, just don't ask us to scale those huge walls. We'd end up dead when they hurl rocks down at us.
Yeah, no thanks. If only someone would open up the gates for us from the inside.
Unfortunately, we don't have any spies in there. Wait a minute. I've got it. We sneak in, stir up confusion, and open the gates ourselves to let our allies in.
Right, that's what I was saying all along.
Right, nice one, Hilda. But how do you propose we go about sneaking in?
Disguises? If we dress up like Imperial soldiers, maybe they'll think we're allies and let us in. Do you really think they'd just open the gates for us? I'd be pretty dumbfounded if that worked.
No, she's on to something. It's a good idea, Hilda. We just need to refine it a bit, and we'll be in there before we know it.
Really? Go me!
What is your definition of refining the idea? I know your go-to strategy is nausea-inducing poison, but...
Oh, I maybe ate too much. My stomach hurts.
Raphael, why are you eating meat during a war council?
So, fearless leader, I'm guessing you're going to keep the crucial parts of your scheme under wraps until the time comes, aren't you?
You know me so well, Judith. Whether we like it or not, this war puts a damper on all of our spirits. What's wrong with trying to have a little fun every now and again? Just leave the details to me.
Alright. We are going to explore. First things first. Blacksmith. Repair. She's a sword master more. She needs a new class. Alright. Just quickly check over here. Talk to anyone I see.
Fort Merceus is old and strong. Its reputation for durability is equal to that of Aryan Road. Are we really going to leave this to Claude, with a plan concocted by Hilda of all people?
Have a little faith.
I would like to, but I'm always troubled by how secretively that man devises his schemes. Let us hope the end result is not too outlandish.
Can't be My relationship with the Boar Prince began even before I was born. He was always by my side. You might even say that, at one time, we were best friends.
What happened?
I couldn't fathom the depth of his hatred for the Empire. So much anguish. Could I have saved him? Could I have stopped him?
Okay. Last thing we're gonna do before we start doing other stuff here. You got time. It is a shame to know that Dimitri is dead and he won't help us, but Dems the brakes.
Hi.
Nah. Doesn't matter how sturdy the keep. If the commander defending it is incompetent, it can fall as easy as anything. That's what they say, at least. I wonder if that applies to Fort Mercius. All I know is, if I was the Emperor, I'd never in a million years assign an incompetent commander to a fort as important as that one.
Right, right.
For someone who said they were coming out of the room, we ain't
It's always so peaceful coming back here. But it's hard to relax knowing we have to go out on another expedition again so soon. And assaulting that huge keep. That sounds hard. Oh, really hard. Don't you think it'll be hard?
We'll be fine.
Of course you'd say that. Why'd I even ask?
I'm gonna lie to you. Well, no, it's not lying. They're both accurate. I mean, it's gonna be tough, but it's not gonna be impossible.
Pardon me.
Really?
I've come to deliver vegetables we harvested in the village to the monastery's dining hall. Because of the season, I couldn't really pick that much. But I wanted to help you guys out, even just a little bit. We're busily planting seeds, so when things start to grow, I'll be back.
Thank you.
The fish in this pond get fed every day, so they're swimming all lazy and serene. But the only reason they're kept here is so that they can one day be used for food. But the fish don't know that, so they just swim around happily. It's a bit of a miserable thought. But aren't soldiers much the same?
Getting really, metaphysical there, aren't you? And we lost two more people to slaying them because they didn't want to join us.
No.
Golden apple.
Maybe.
Alright, this is, you know what, just explore the whole fucking monastery, then we'll just completely speed through the supports. Because the supports aren't with me, right? Yeah, it's with everyone else. So many supports. Yeah, basically everyone else. So we'll spend the last little bit doing that. Which will take a while. So So this video might get extra long because we're nearly an hour and 20 minutes in. This might get us to an hour and 40, depending on how fast we can do it. Also, I've been trying to mute a little bit more because of audio bleed. I'm trying to figure out ways to stop it, but I just don't know how. My mic's positioning and so on and so forth. All I can really do is mute myself when something happens. If I can predict it happens, I don't always know though. But yeah, just trying to get better at that. I know audio bleed is a problem with my channel. I know I could use like a pop filter, but I don't really have a mount for that. And my room isn't really positioned in the best way. Like I have to face away from my desk just to look at my TV. Because playing it through the monitor, it won't work.
Claude takes care of the strategy, you direct the troops, and the rest of us focus on the fighting. As long as the system keeps working, we can win any battle, no matter the odds. That's what everyone's saying anyway. Hope you can keep up with our expectations, Professor.
Hey! Hey there! We merchants of the Alliance territories were excited to hear of your victory in the last battle. We don't much like the prospect of doing business under the heel of the Empire. The Alliance is what we know and love. But more than that, it's low on regulations, which is great for business. Please keep up the good work, Professor. The merchants of the world are on your side.
No.
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. Is it true that we'll be assaulting Fort Mercius next? That doesn't sound like the brightest idea. I've heard that it's built to withstand an attack from even the largest of armies. And not to tell you how to do your job, but don't do it. I'm not ready to say my final goodbyes to everyone.
We're gonna do it anyway.
Professor!
Hey!
Hello there. Return soon, please.
Hey, welcome. Come again.
Hello!
Will this one do? Will this one do?
Wait a minute.
Will this one do?
Isn't that Ring a Bell's voice actor? I think we're good.
Tell your friends.
Yep, that's definitely Ring a Bell.
Welcome! Come back soon!
No.
Wow.
Three over here.
I hardly recognize everyone. Their faces have changed so much. More experience in the eyes, and more pain. I'm glad that they're stronger, But I hate to think they've all become hardened killers. Look after them, okay? Try to keep them on the straight and narrow.
Okay. Ingrid and Marianne.
Among our prisoners of war, there were quite a few people who served His Highness. One of them stated that the Empire was involved with the tragedy of Dusker. If this is true, His Highness's motives seem clear. I can't help but feel that perhaps I should have been fighting by his side.
Are you having regrets?
No, not anymore. I am where I belong. Those of us still on this plane of existence will carry the torch. The inhumane actions of the Empire must not be repeated.
I never used to care whether I lived or died. But after seeing so much death firsthand, I now realize how precious life truly is. I'm ashamed of how arrogant I was to think that death could mean so little.
You are a precious thing.
Hey, you.
Hi, you. I really wish these weren't green. I wish they were like red or something because it blends in too fucking well with the background. Like, really too well.
I've heard Dedue's passed on, just like His Highness.
You can't know that for certain.
That's true. I did hear that his body was never found. If somehow he's still alive, I hope we'll meet again.
Okay.
Right.
Hello.
Hello. Where the fuck is Hilda? This thing, right? Up there. I know this dog is always here. I'm pretty sure this dog is looking at something. Especially with the tail. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you see something. That's the only reason why you'd be there. Something tells me Gerald's spirit is there or something, or the mom's spirit. Or maybe Sophis. I don't know. But, something's there. I know they've done this shit before. Dogs can see spirits. I'm pretty sure that's what they're...
After that great battle earlier, the balance of power in Fodlan has shifted greatly. To get revenge for all our fallen friends, we'll have to stake our lives on the fight that lies before us.
Ah, Professor, I have a question for you. Have you heard of the Death Knight? I'm referring to that Imperial general who has been operating under that moniker.
I've heard of him. I've fought him. I've killed him.
Nothing is certain yet, but I get the feeling we'll have to face him soon enough.
Something tells me he's the boss of that fucking place.
Yes.
He just feels like that. With what you're implying, anyway. Why would I not buy it? I have to check on this guy because I have not sent him sent anyone out for fucking ever. Didn't give me an item, but whatever.
Well,
Professor.
Open sesame.
Really?
Yes, really. I've noticed the owl won't eat there anymore. He used to always fly in even if there was nothing there. Get closer. Thank you.
So many people died in the battle at Gronder. And here we are, preparing for the next battle as if nothing happened the day before. It's almost easier to think about war as theater, with the stage an entire continent.
Though actors die, the show goes on.
Something like that? If an accident happens on stage, the next day's performance must be unaffected. Everyone just pretends like everything is fine, focusing on their role in the play.
Okay, no one else is over here besides
Yes.
There you go. We really want to do much with boys, Ingrid. You seem to be very stoic and not want to be into that stuff. You see, I can't really see you doing that stuff. She's not a bad character though, but yeah.
Need something?
Yeah, I need about 2,000 points. Can you hand that over to me?
See you again soon.
I've come here after getting chased out of the Empire. There's no place for our kind there anymore. But there are still many inside Empire territory who haven't abandoned their faith in the Church of Seros. I pray that one day we'll get the chance to rebuild the church within the Empire.
I don't think that's happening unless Edlegard is, fucking dead. I mean, I'm still fucking iffy on the Church of Seros myself. Like, and I have the goddess inside of my fucking heart. Okay, so that floor, library, we got 2 people.
Professor. As I suspected, they seem to be supporting the Imperial Army now. Though I don't quite know who they are yet. Nor do I know what tricks they'll use against us next. We can't afford to let our guard down.
Professor, the battle at Gronder Field was gruesome, wasn't it? But perhaps it's irresponsible to look away. To close our eyes to the horrors of war.
I agree.
As survivors, we must ensure that all these lives were not lost in vain. We must see the tragic foundations upon which we'll build our future. May an age of peace rise from the ashes, so that all this sacrifice means something.
Alright, so we got 4 there, 4 over there.
Right, right.
I think actually before I talk to them. Am I able to read my renown without having to go to the guy? Vessel. Doesn't seem like I can see it. soul, by the way. B+. You're on your way.
Hilda's quite a tactician, disguising ourselves as enemy soldiers to sneak in undetected. A stroke of brilliance. With this strategy, we can really snatch victory from the jaws of deceit.
That wasn't even an attempted a pun.
Ah, rats! You've seen through my cunning punning.
Please tell Claude not to give us any more ridiculous orders. I've reached out through all of my channels, but there are limits to these things. I'll have to recruit an entire town's worth of people if I ever plan on making enough Imperial uniforms.
I wonder how far we can get with this plan, dressing up like Imperial soldiers to sneak in. Claude said it could use some refinement. Any ideas?
Dress you as the Emperor?
Dress me as Edlegard? But we look nothing alike. On second thought, let's just stick to the plan as originally conceived. That seems safer. Excuse me, could you do me a favor? Thanks so much. You're a sweetheart.
Each time we take a step forward, more blood is spilled. But by spilling that blood, we're able to take yet another step forward. War is always a cruel affair, but luckily we have each other to lean on. We've steeled our hearts. We won't be broken.
I'm glad we have such reliable allies.
I couldn't agree more. Without them, we could never have made it this far. Oh, and about taking the fort, I'll need a tad more time to prepare our plan. It's called an impregnable fortress for a reason, after all. My contingencies need contingencies this time, or we may not pull it off.
Each step closer to Enbar, I'm reminded of another part of my past. Riches and poverty, glory and failure. That city has it all. And if I'm honest, sometimes I miss it. That's how the past works, though, isn't it? It's always a different story than what you really lived.
Fort Mercius is the Empire's single most fortified military installation. Utterly impregnable, they say. I wonder, do you happen to know the nickname given to Fort Mercius? Indeed, a very good answer. But of course, you'd know that. Seems Fodlans give everyone and everything a nickname. Why, you were called the Ashen Demon. Myself, I have been called the Father of Crestology, which is a nickname as well as a title, I suppose.
Let's see. Guess what I noticed? I can see further than most other people can see. But I can't figure the point of seeing further than an arrow can fly, since I can't shoot what I see.
You could detect enemy movements in advance.
I suppose I could see a whole horde of enemies coming and run away. That's kind of useful, at least. Thanks, Professor. I think I get it now. I'm gonna put my eyes to real good use.
Some say they saw Gilbert, who used to serve in the Knights of Seros, at Gronder. Apparently, he was originally a Knight of the Kingdom who served Prince Dimitri. He was an exceptional knight. I wish I could have fought by his side.
Fort Mercius is a keep that was constructed to defend the imperial capital, Enbar. We cannot enter the capital without first capturing that fort. But once we have it, the city should be almost entirely at our mercy. Whatever strategy you have in mind, I have faith that it will lead to victory.
Alright. The last thing I will do before I actually start using those points. Check stats room, and I didn't check Gerald. And then we'll check the last floor, just because we can. Let's see. Okay. That's everyone. So now, what we're gonna do is, for the rest of this episode, I'm gonna go through all of the sports that we have, every single one. This might take a while. I will stop the episode, and then what I'm gonna do between the episodes is I'm going to use the 10 points, and so on. And because of how this is going to work, I will see you guys probably at the end of the week, if not the end of the month, because there's no point in showing the constant growth one after another, especially since I've hit all the story points. If something happens, I'll inform you guys, because as soon as I get there, I'm going to record more. But yeah, I will see you guys next time. Not yet. We're going to get through the supports first, alright? So I'm going to be mute.
Claude, what are you doing?
The training equipment needed maintenance, so I thought I'd give it a good cleaning and some oil.
Why is that for you to do?
If you intend to use something a lot, it's on you to take good care of it.
You are a noble who does not have fear of working with hardness or becoming dirty. And you can climb trees. I am impressed.
Thanks, but to be honest, I don't think being a noble really has anything to do with anything. Nobles and commoners are all equal here. We're all buddies. Even you do chores, don't you? Social rank doesn't matter when you put your life in each other's hands. I like that about this place.
I have your same opinion. Status is something chosen by chance, not by a person. Everything became different when I came from Brigid to the Empire. Nobility does not stop life from surprising you.
I know just what you mean. It's not like the ancestors of the nobility or royalty were selected by the goddess herself, after all. What does origin or status matter? In the grand scheme of things, we're all just insignificant mortals. Nobility isn't a matter of birthright alone. At least not in my eyes.
Claude, you are very much strange for a noble.
Thanks, and same to you. You're a princess of Brigid, right? If I'm a strange noble, you are too.
I am normal in Brigid. In Fodlan, you are an abnormality.
An abnormality, am I? Gentleman that I am, I'll go ahead and take that as a compliment.
I think also that your heart is kind. I am thinking you will be a good king.
I'll remember that. But for now, this equipment isn't going to clean itself.
I will be helping you. We will join together our efforts.
You're an abnormality, princess. A wonderful abnormality. Hello, Flane. Isn't it about time you told me the truth?
About what exactly?
Who you really are. villains are after you for your blood, there's no doubt that you're someone special. And that's why Sedith is always worrying about you so much, right?
Well, yes. I see no reason to hide that fact.
But just what makes that blood of yours so special? More than anything, I've been wanting to find out Teach's true identity. But yours is bothering me almost as much. Somehow, I can't seem to stop thinking about you. It's almost like a crush. I have a crush on your secrets, Sweet Flame.
Such flattery.
I've tried asking Sedith, but there's no sign of him budging on the issue. At this point, I guess I just need better bargaining skills. Or how about this? If you tell me the truth, I'll do anything you say.
That is not something I am willing to share, unfortunately. However, since you are so passionate on the matter, I will promise you something.
What's that?
If you somehow manage to uncover the truth of my identity, I will acknowledge it as truth.
That's real nice of you and all, but I think if I could come up with the truth, I'd be able to tell from your reaction anyway. You're not great at hiding your emotions, after all.
If you do somehow figure it out, then I would ask something of you, Claude. I would ask that you reveal your own true identity.
Now that's a request I wasn't expecting.
It has been clear to me for quite some time now that you are no ordinary noble. I have been pondering, well, you, quite a lot lately. The curiosity is enough to drive me mad.
I see. Well, that's an interesting turn of events. Looks like we both have a little crush on our hands, huh? I hope the day comes when we can talk freely about both of our identities.
Whew. Today's training was murder. Ah, Shamir, I have a question for you. Shamir? Oh, I suppose she's meditating or something. Never mind then, I guess.
Where are you going?
Ah! Shamir!
Don't you have a question?
No, it's not important.
I'm finished meditating. Speak.
No, it's not. You're probably tired anyway.
Always be willing to speak and ask questions. Understood?
Yes, understood. I'll remember that for next time.
Next time?
Yes, I'm okay for today. Sorry to disturb you. I'll be leaving now.
Why must he be so difficult?
Why are you sighing at me like that? Is my face really so hopeless?
Ingrid, I am trying to think of something polite to say right now. It's as if you have no experience dressing elegantly. At all.
I mean, I don't. Dorothea, I appreciate you taking the time, but yes, we're in the middle of a war. It hasn't been my top priority.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be so hard on you. I was just surprised, is all. A gal like you're a beautiful young noblewoman who somehow has no experience with either makeup or fashion. This is basic stuff, Ingrid. The basics of the basics, really. But it's like you've never even tried.
I was just never interested before. Even as a child, it never appealed to me. Fussy, pretty things always felt unnecessary. And gussing myself up to attract someone has never played an important part in my pursuits as a knight. But you've piqued my interest in all this.
How?
It's not like I'd be dressing myself up just to attract someone. I'd be dressing up for the occasion, specifically. Even if I don't dress up any other time, a special occasion such as this is a good reason to try it out.
Well, yeah. That's why we dress up when we go out. You might meet someone, and you want to look your best, don't you? Get their attention, lure them in.
That's the exact opposite of what I just said. You said previously that dressing up for the occasion is reason enough.
Oh, I just said that so you wouldn't run off screaming.
I see.
My real point is that you're quite lovely even before getting all fixed up. Absolutely bewitching, in fact. So when I'm finished with you, well, someone looking at you could be forgiven for wanting to pounce.
Could they be? I don't know that I'd forgive them.
Oh, I know. That's why just before I lunge, I'm gonna ask permission.
Permission is not granted. Ever. Just back off.
Ingrid, are you familiar with the story of the King of Liberation and the 10 elites of Fodlan?
Of course. They were the heroes who struck down evil with the power of the sacred weapons, protecting our land and people. Their strength was passed down through the ages, manifesting itself in the crest some of us are born with.
Yes, the 10 elites certainly possessed great power. But does that make them worthy of worship?
I imagine you ask because they later fought amongst themselves, turning on one another, ravaging the land.
Precisely. Initially, Nemesis and the 10 elites worked together to bring peace to Fodlan. But soon their ambitions got the best of them, and they clashed, using their sacred weapons on anyone they chose, strong and weak alike. What I mean to say is, possessing strength alone does not make one worthy of respect. Rather, one should be judged by how they choose to use that strength.
Yes, I agree.
If you follow that logic, then you will see it also applies to those who are born with crests. Now think of how your father wishes to wed you to another family's fortune on the basis of your crest.
Yes? What of it?
These are purely inherited qualities. Is it not foolish to judge a person's value by some inherited fortune? That is all a crest is, really.
That's what I think too. Having a crest or not has no bearing on your worth as a person.
I understand that Count Galatea believes he has the right to manage your affairs. I am certain he has his own share of problems. And I do not wish to meddle or lay blame. But if there is anything I should like to say to his daughter, it is this. How you live your life is up to you.
Thank you for your counsel and wisdom, Sedith. Father's hopes were dashed long ago. I will take some time to reflect on what lies ahead. My future.
All right then, enough sparring for today?
Yes, that should suffice.
I must say, you've gotten good at seeing through my tricks. I can't mislead you so easily anymore.
I've made it my goal to read your aim and not give away anything through my body language.
But in hand-to-hand combat, your form needs work. On the battlefield, even if you lose your weapon, you can't ever stop fighting. Sink your teeth into their throats, kick them where it hurts. Do whatever it takes to survive.
Have you ever needed to employ such methods?
Not on the battlefield. I've never been in such a dire situation that I needed to. But at the tavern, loads of times. With a well-aimed boot, I've brought many a man to his knees. My point is, you can't hesitate to use dirty tactics. You have to grit your teeth and fight back. War isn't as pretty as it's made out to be in all those poems and songs. Sometimes, even as a knight, you have to do things that you might think are beneath you. You might even have to let innocent bystanders die. Are you prepared for that, Ingrid? Do you really want to be a knight, knowing what it entails?
I'm prepared to do whatever is requested of me, come what may. I will be a knight who loyally serves my king, just as you loyally serve Lady Rhea.
You've got me wrong. I'm loyal to the Archbishop, but only up to a point. I'd do anything in the world for Lady Rhea, except die. If she asked me to die for her, I wouldn't. Does that sound like a contradiction? Very well. That's just who I am.
You're right. It does sound like a contradiction. With all due respect, that isn't very knightly of you. I'm not sure I fully understand.
You will someday. Maybe not for a while, but you will. In the meantime, just don't die, okay?
I'll try my best.
Brother!
Flame, is something the matter?
I thought I made it clear that I do not want you meddling in the affairs of me and my friends.
I am not quite sure what you are referring to, but I promise you I would never try to stand in your way.
It has come to my attention that you have been running about asking people what they think of me. Asking everyone.
Well, of course I have. It took me quite some time. But for you, it was well worth the effort. I was able to confirm that you are getting along well with everyone. It was very reassuring.
I cannot emphasize enough how embarrassed I was when I found out. And you have caused such a stir for those whom you questioned. Why, one person even said he feared for his life when you cornered him in the dining hall.
The dining hall? Ah, I know the fellow you are referring to. Yes, I've seen the way he looks at you. I recognized in an instant that he had impure feelings for you. As your brother, I took it upon myself to test his resolve. I merely asked him if he was prepared to lay his life on the line for my beloved sister.
He is nothing more than a friend. Kindly keep out of my social business in the future.
I am happy to see that you are making friends, but you should weigh your options more carefully.
Who I befriend is absolutely none of your business. Do you know what they call people like you? Overprotective meddlers. I am no longer a child. Are you incapable of trusting me, even a little?
Of course I trust you, but as an elder brother, I have a certain responsibility.
As my brother?
Obviously.
Oh, never mind it. If you'll excuse me.
It seems I'm not the only one here. Manuela?
Oh, Sedith. Hello.
This is quite the surprise. I would not expect to find you here outside of ordinary prayer time.
Praying? No, I was just resting. Whenever I'm in the infirmary, I simply cannot get out of doing work. I need a place to sit and close my eyes.
There is no need to hide it. It is obvious you were praying quite solemnly just now.
No, I was just enjoying some old memories. That's all. In fact, I was just thinking about when my parents first brought me here as a child. I wandered off from my parents because I heard a beautiful voice. It was a woman, singing, somewhere just out of sight. I began to sing along, hoping she would hear me and that we might meet. I never found her, whoever she was. Yet it was she who taught me I could sing.
Interesting. I'd never heard that. But I suppose if you were only a child, this would be before I arrived at Garreg Mach. In any case, if that singing voice helped you find your way, then that is a wonderful thing.
I've never told anyone else, but I believe it was the goddess I heard. And that day, she gifted me my singing voice. And I thank the goddess for leading me back here after I left the opera company.
You know, when you speak of the goddess in this way, it is as though you are an entirely different person. If you were to behave that way more in your daily life, I would have a much higher opinion of you.
Oh, that's very sweet, coming from you, Sedith. Should I take that to mean that you like your ladies pious and respectable?
One little compliment and you completely lose control of yourself. What am I to do with you?
Oh, it's a joke. Look, I'm just no good at serious conversations. Although, I would be lying if I said I wasn't interested in knowing what kind of woman does get your attention.
As thanks for the touching tale you have shared, I will satisfy your curiosity just this once. My preferred woman is kind, quiet, and proper. But above all else, she is straightforward and honest.
Quiet. Proper. There's no need to be cruel, Sedith.
Hello, Manuela. I was just wondering, what was it like back when you were involved with that opera troupe? Your life must have been quite different from how it is here, I imagine.
My, how bold to ask an adult about their private life. I'll humor you, though. A diva's life is only glamorous while she's on stage. The rest of her time is consumed by grueling training. Just days and days of practicing, beginning at sunrise, with barely a moment to rest from one performance to the next. Then, once the performances begin, you're on stage for 3 shows a day. Absolutely exhausting. Is that anything like you imagined?
It sounds like a world all its own. Thank you. I find the topic fascinating. What sort of roles did you tend to be cast in? As the lead performer, did you play the part of a princess much? Oh, I can only imagine how illustrious that would be.
Yes, I was a princess once or twice. And it was quite something, let me tell you. All those royal jewels and flowing gowns. And they didn't just give me the pretty clothes to wear because I was beautiful, you know. I had to fight and claw my way into every role. But once I was there on stage, singing my solo, and all eyes were on me, it was worth it. I was rewarded for every one of my countless hours of practice. And the cheers when I finished a song, the applause. Oh, I can't properly explain it, but I can tell you, it's an experience I will cherish until the day I die.
Wondrous. It all sounds so very glamorous. Despite how rigorous a schedule you kept, it sounds like the hard work was worth those fleeting moments on stage. Mine has always been a quiet life. It is hard not to feel a twinge of envy, hearing such stories from you.
There's a lot to be said for the quiet life. It was never for me, of course. Still, I hear it's a pretty good deal for a lot of other folks. The thing is, Flame, well, you always have to remind yourself that if a place shines brighter than anywhere else, its shadows will be darker too.
What do you mean?
Nothing. It's a thing I hope you never come to understand. You know what? The next time you visit, I'll tell you all about the time I played a beautiful princess, and about the handsome prince she fell in love with.
Oh, please! I would love to hear all about it.
Alright. Where are we at? 2 hours and 10 minutes? Alright, so off camera, I'm going to go spend these points. And what's going to happen is, let's pull up the calendar. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get all the way to here. So I don't need to do every single one of these days. At this point, unless something happens, I will inform you. But at this point in the story, it's going to be mostly about the days coming up to the event. So I will see you guys next time. And yeah, just see you guys then.